Hello, welcome back. Once again, another legacy video on the Bosch and Roll channel. And today I'm playing Blue-White Monarch. A couple days ago on the channel, I played Bant Monarch. The league was, I would call it successful for a first pass at the deck. So a lot of people were giving me feedback, like, what about Court of Grace? Where do we fit Court of Grace? So I played a Court of Cunning Bant deck, and a lot of people were asking about Court of Grace. Uh, Court of Cunning, if you're the Monarch, mills your opponents for 10 every turn. Court of Grace, if you're the Monarch, you get a 4/4 flying white angel every turn. So my answer to all of those questions was Court of Grace doesn't go in the Bant Noble Hierarch deck. Court of Grace goes in something more like this. And this deck, it's very close to a lot of things I've done on the channel before. Like you can see the shell of my old Shark Still list here, like Shark Typhoon, Hall of Heliod's Generosity, all of that sort of stuff was in my Shark Still deck. I still think that engine is very good. I think that's a legacy power engine. The standstills are gone. They've been replaced by Court of Cunning. And then you see some kind of weird stuff going on here. So this blue-white deck has very few creatures of its own. It only has Shark Typhoon and the tokens that Court of Grace makes. That's it. That's the only way to get the Monarch back if you lose it. So I've taken some steps to make sure that we don't lose the Monarch. So, or I guess there's a third way to get the Monarch back, which is playing another court and just taking it back, because these ETB triggers happen. They can just take the Monarch old-fashioned way. So there's also that. So the weird stuff going on here, Moat, that will eliminate most creatures from attacking me if Moat resolves. So that's a big one. It's very important against like elves or goblins. Like we're never beating those decks ever without a card like Moat. I'm heavy on the removal. 3 Wraths in the main deck, and then 2 more Terminus in the sideboard. The 5th Swords to Plowshares in Path to Exile, and then Wall of Omens just as a something I can do on turn 2 that takes some pressure off my life total starting turn 3, which is where I want to start protecting my courts. So I think that most of the time we're not going to be jamming a turn 3 court with this deck. I think most of the time we're going to be like uh, playing a normal blue-white control thing and then jam the court with lots of protection on like turn 6 or 7. That's how I think these games are going to go, but I guess we'll find out. I also have Back to Basics in here just as another thing I can jam on turn 3, start to bait counter magic early, have my forces obviously to protect my combo, and then Replenish is my big banger to get it all back later. If they counter the first court, they remove the moat, then boom, Replenish, moat's back, court's back, I'm the Monarch, let's go. So that's the plan. The huge structural flaw of this deck is that if I lose the Monarch, I'm gonna get wrecked. And that is I recognize that. This is a rough first pass at what this deck might be able to look like. This might be abysmal. It might be great. We're gonna find out together. So let's go do this thing. All right, we're on the draw here in round 1, so we're already behind. Being on the draw sucks. We have double court and a wall, but no white source. We do have a shark. We can cycle. I'm gonna keep this. You kind of have to keep hands like this sometimes with these decks full of basics. Like you're never gonna have perfect mana. Though having turn 2 Wall of Omens in Legacy in my first league with this deck would be pretty exciting to me. If they played Delver, we're probably dead. Oh no, it's happening. All right, it's just Ponder. Don't worry, everyone. All right, we're looking for that basic plains. All right, just another white card to cast with our plains someday when we draw it. They shuffled their library with that Ponder. All right, this is a twist. Bug mana base could be some sort of bug delver deck, could be some weird combo deck like dragon, could be show and tell. There's a lot of things that this could be. Pretty sure it's a combo deck though. It could be Doomsday. Feel pretty good. Bummer. I was gonna say I'd feel pretty good if we draw a cantrip or white mana or something useful here. Hopefully they respect my 2 islands enough to not just jam their combo. I don't think I cycle Shark Typhoon here. Maybe I do. Yeah, I think I just want maximum looks for a force or white land. Like if I can stick this to fairy before I go to court, that would be pretty cool. I feel like this deck is not going to have Ice Fang Coatl. Coatl's going to be the bane of my existence during this entire league, I promise. All right, Ponder is all right, found Force of Will. So I could Court of Cunning with Force backup, or I could try to Ponder. No, let's go to Court. If they force this, I have another one. All right, let's just hope they don't have Ice Fang Coatl. I will force Ice Fang Coatl, as bad as it feels. All right, they gave me the draw. All right, no Coatl. And they don't have any Astrolabe sitting around, so I don't have to worry about Oko showing up right now and taking the Monarch. They could just be comboing off here. But if they are Doomsday, which they appear to be setting up a Doomsday, they can't pass the turn, because then I just mill them out. So they do have to win right now. Oh, they're making a wish. Wishing for ad nauseum. Interesting. Can they cast that right now? What is happening? Is this a real deck? Oh, they were just playing their, getting their creature into play. Okay, so now I need white mana. Holding all of these removal spells that I am and the Ponder, like I'm not willing to force this fairy. Okay, so Pact of Negation, Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual, Fae of Wishes. I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna be honest. All right, found the white mana. Always had it. Found more white mana. Do I want more white mana now? I think 1 is enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna shuffle. So I think I should go to my end step, draw my card, and then Swords to Plowshares this thing. Yeah, so they have this ad nauseum. I don't think they would have let this court resolve if they had the choice. Though we've also seen Pact of Negation out of this deck. All right, well, there's the ad nauseum mana. They're also currently holding up Veil of Summer, which I'm not excited about. But I mean, I'm not going to not force this thing. Yep, there's the Veil. That at least denies them that 1 mana. All right, F6. Let's see what this deck actually does. Looks like it casts several ad nauseums. This doesn't look good yet. So they must have more ad nauseums in their deck, or else why would they stop here? Which means there's a chance they could lose if they keep going. all this does is cantrip some more. Like, do they still have their land drop? Cast Dark Ritual. Yeah, they still have their land drop, so they can Swamp, Mox, Lotus Petal, Ritual. Alright, so they have 5 black mana and 1 of any color. Oh, Mox Diamond was one of the last cards in hand, so they have another mana that I didn't know about. Oh baby, I look pretty dead here. Yeah, so they should be able to Fae of Wishes for Tendrils here and kill me. Alright, that's fair. Yeah, my main deck is so stacked for playing against creatures that I'm not surprised to lose game 1 to a combo deck. I'm surprised we put up as much of a fight as we did, honestly. Alright, so Deafening Silence for sure. Dovin's Veto I like. Stony Silence looks pretty important here. Mystical Dispute, just any counterspell is good. Especially since their Burning Wish is blue. Probably don't want Back to Basics. Though it would have been good that game, but that doesn't mean it'll be good in most games. So I do have to keep respecting their 2 mana 1/4. Like losing the Monarch could happen pretty easily here. Moat doesn't matter. Actually, I think cutting Supreme Verdicts over Swords to Plowshares makes more sense. This is a blue card, but this can protect the Monarch better. Maybe Narset is better than Swords to Plowshares and Supreme Verdict. Oh, this plow ended up in the wrong pile. You're out of here. Demon Priest, Seal of Cleansing Terminus. Yeah, I don't need any of those. Alright, I think this is as good as it's going to get. On the play, right where we belong. This hand is missing both a hate card and and a counterspell and white mana. So do I keep it on the strength of Court of Cunning? I don't think so. Alright, this one's way better. I'm going to keep this and bottom Mystic Sanctuary. Get my Ponder on. Not bad. Dovin's Veto is a spicy one. It doesn't beat Veil of Summer, unfortunately. But it is a sweet card to have in the combo matchups. Let's see if they want to just play a 1/4 flyer here. Protect from future courts. Well, this deck exists to be the Monarch, so I'm going to be the Monarch. I have to sweat for a turn here. Though they could easily win, but I don't think waiting until turn 5 so I can play court with veto backup is the answer. Alright, I like Ponder. Ponder doesn't kill me. They chose to shuffle. Oh no, there's more. What do we got? Fae of Wishes. In creature mode. Awkward, but required. Maybe I should be milling myself too, especially with Hall in my hand. I can also use the mill to reset brainstorm cards. Shark Typhoon. This actually does not do nearly enough. Yes, I'll shuffle my library. That one is more what I'm looking for. It cost me my white mana, so I can't leave up Veto, but I think Silence is just going to be way better against this deck. They're an ad nauseum deck, so I can't imagine they have Force of Will. Yes. Just keep those forces rolling off the top. That's what we need here. And because of Deafening Silence, if they cast a spell and I force it, they can't Veil of Summer or anything because they've already played their spell this turn. It is non-creature spell though, so if they run out another just Naked Fae of Wishes, that could get me. Oh no, it is another Naked Fae of Wishes. So what does that do? It takes the Monarch next turn. Probably. They can also still Veil of Summer through this. You know what, whatever. I feel like the damage might be done. Like, I'm gonna get 2 triggers off this thing, at least. Like 2 mill triggers, and then if they become the Monarch, then that is just shredding more of their deck. Alright, I found a plow. I can put back Deafening Silence and Teferi. That's why I left plows in the deck, so this line exists. And if they cantrip, I can just plow their thing. They should go to combat before they take any other actions. Veil of Summer does not protect them from Swords to Plowshares. Pact of Negation, aggro as fuck. I respect it. Alright, so they're going to take the Monarch, and then I can use Teferi to bounce their Lotus Petal. My top card is a second Deafening Silence that I don't want, so I'm actually going to target both of us with Court. It's the first time I got to do that. That was pretty cool. Oh, what does that do? That sets me up for the future. I could also bounce Court of Cunning with Teferi. They might just respond with Veil of Summer to draw a card and make sure I can't bounce their Lotus Petal. But I'm definitely going to bounce Court if I can't bounce Lotus Petal, I'm going to bounce Court. All right, so they can deny me a card draw. If they can still Dark Ritual and pay. Or maybe I am just supposed to bounce Court. Or I could just plus Teferi. Though if they have Abrupt Decay, which there's a good chance they do. Also bounce Fae. I don't know, this is a tough spot. I'm gonna bounce court and get that reset. Can't cast it now, but I am ready for next turn. I can Dovin's Veto their Dark Ritual when they try to pay for their Pact. That sounds pretty good. I don't know what they think they're doing with this mana. Oh, they're bouncing Fae of Wishes. That's fair. That's allowed. Then they're going to die to their own Pact. Yeah. Also, they can't Ritual. Yeah, they were dead in so many directions. Yeah, I put way more work into that turn than I did. I didn't even realize how many directions they were dead in, but it was a lot. All right, so they have been aggressively fetching non-basics. I don't even know if they play basics, and the way these games have gone, it's been kind of scrappy, and it has come down to like tight mana on turn 4 and 5 and beyond. Though I think with Deafening Silence, Stony Silence, all of these silence-related theme deck cards, that I don't need that. Leaving the plows in felt really smart. Is Back to Basics better than like Wall of Omens, I guess, is the last remaining stinker. Or Seal of Cleansing. Is Seal of Cleansing better than Wall of Omens? This Containment Priest can also take the Monarch back and just is a flash body. All right, I don't hate that. This is a strong hand against this particular matchup. I'm going to keep it. I'm ready for the Cabal therapy. Show it to me. Okay. We dodged the first bullet. Uh-oh, there's more bullets. All right, they were fake bullets. They're just playing around Deafening Silence. Use my Polluta Delta to fetch Tundra because Flooded Strand can get either one, and Polluta Delta can only get islands. That's a shuffler for sure. All right, I drew my creature, the only creature in my deck. They're under the gun now. Yeah, so next turn I get to leave up either both Veto and Priest. Don't even have to fetch to do it. So my hand, it's unlikely to die out of nowhere. And if they have like Veil of Summer and Pact of Negation, I could definitely lose. So that means that I should lead on Force of Will, even if they even though I have Veto, I should lead on Force of Will because Veto makes sure that Pact doesn't kill me. All right, random beats, here they come. This thing's gonna go coast to coast. Just wait. And it's probably not actually gonna win the game on its own, but just look at the difference in this board state when I have a grizzly bear to not a grizzly bear on the other side. Well, Chain of Vapor. All right, so they're casting Chain of Vapor on my creature with flash after combat. So that was not a good exchange for them. But if they feel like they had to make that, then I'm probably doing all right. And next turn I can hold up Veto and at least one force, 2 forces if I draw a blue card over top of my priest. They top-bottomed Preordain and still didn't make a land drop, so their hand is 6 spells, and we can be pretty confident about that. Didn't find the blue card. Bummer. So I have 1 force and Dovin's Veto, and next turn I can hard cast a force, so we just need to bridge this gap against their hand of 6 spells. Wish we had a shark in the graveyard to put this hall to work. So I could fight over this, but I don't think I want to. I want to let them commit, because Dovin's Veto is a pretty big trump. Like if they go for the ad nauseum, I guess I could just get like natural tendrils also. Storm is 3. They have a lot of fucking mana. They could also just cast 2 ad nauseums this turn. They could also cast 2 Veil of Summers this turn. That's what I'm really worried about. All right, did we do it, or do you have the other Veil? I guess you would have played the Veil in response to the other one. Oh no, another ad nauseum, or just tendrils for lethal. Oh, they can wish for tendrils. Oh my god, that was awesome. GG's. Yeah, missing on the blue card for the last force. Yep, it did come down just that close. Yep, that's all it was. Like I said, we're probably going to lose most combo matchups in game 1 because the deck is just so tilted towards making sure we never get hit by a creature. And then we have to win both sideboard games, and that one, yep, it just came down to not drawing another blue card. And they snuck through with the natty tendrils, and I'm a huge fan of that. Right, we're on the draw in round 2 here. I'm going to keep this hand and just hope they're a creature deck. Uh-oh. Prismatic Vista is not in any creature decks. That is a combo and control card exclusively. Yeah, so this hand looks worse than it is. Like Shark Typhoon, remember we can cycle that for 2. So this is not as just completely brickish as it looks, but it's not good either. Keeping the double plow hand and playing against Prismatic Vista is a rough start. Looking for a brainstorm. So I don't think I'm going to cycle the Shark Typhoon right now. I guess it depends on what they do. I might just hold my horses and jam to Fairy. Basic. This could be Blue-Red Delver. That would be great. My hand would go from pretty terrible to like pretty fine if they are actually Blue-Red Delver. Yeah, Blue-Red Delver is one of the few creature decks that can play Prismatic Vista. Trying to figure out what this Snow Mountain is doing. This could be like Pokepile. So just in case this is Pokepile, I'm gonna fetch right now, because they are a Stifle deck. I'm gonna get basics because they're also a Wasteland deck. I'm not gonna jam Teferi now. Like I can cycle Shark Typhoon in the end step and get an actual creature now, and then that lets me play around days and I get more information before I commit to this actual important card. All right, well, show me the Uro, I guess, is where we are in this game. Oh, Grindstone, you're a painter deck. Nasty. All right, so they probably have main deck Red Blast that I need to respect. All right, found Force of Will. That's exciting. That makes Teferi a lot better. Drawing a second Teferi also makes Teferi a lot better. I'm gonna let them counter this one. Yeah, there's the clean Pyroblast. I have 2 Plows and a Force in my hand against this this deck that needs a creature in play to go off. So I'm gonna sit with that for a little while here. See if I can get this other Teferi in. Oko, Thief of Crowns. Is that a card I care about? Probably. So if I force of negation, pitching Force of Will, is that good for me? Then my shields are pretty down. They also have this red mana up. That's terrifying. But what am I doing about this Oko if I'm not countering it? All right, I guess this is the plan. Just ready to die to a red blast here. Oh, Veil of Summer, that's so much worse. They're like the main deck red blast Veil of Summer deck. How can anyone beat this ever? All right, creating a food is fine because I can bounce the food with Teferi and they get nothing out of that. I got so excited for like 1 second when I drew this, but it doesn't do anything. Do you have a Force of Will too? All right, cool. Let's get this food out of here. I guess I might as well pressure Oko. I have these plows. I need to find Moat. That's my way out of this. At least my way out of the Oko situation. That doesn't help with the painter situation. Yeah, I really need to become the Monarch here, like right now. In some way, one or the other. Either one's fine. Dreadhorde Arcanist, that card's also in your deck. What the fuck? What a monster. Alright, well, there's another one of those. I didn't need the first one, and now I have two of them. Alright, I'm just going to pass here, not attacking. Dreadhorde Arcanist doesn't work with Teferi in play, so I can just use my Shark to block what I presume will be an Elk, unless they just Elk up Arcanist. They could also trade their Astrolabe. Yeah, that seemed way worse than not doing that. Alright, so I'm just gonna block Astrolabe. Like, I would hate to plow this thing for no reason and then die second main to just land Painter Servant. Ice Fang Waddle. Wow, this deck is just built to destroy me. Alright, it's a little too late to become the Monarch here. That's a good one. Wall of Omen showing up, doing what it was supposed to. I would love to ponder into a Brainstorm and turn these shitty cards into good cards. So there's Shark Typhoon in my graveyard and no other enchantments, so Replenish is not exciting. Alright, let's do that again. Moat, Prismatic Vista, Replenish. So what does this game look like? Like, Moat is pretty good. Blanks most of what they're up to. I don't know, I don't think I can keep this. Yeah, I have to shuffle that too. Alright, Supreme Verdict's more what I'm looking for. So let's see how committed to removing Teferi they are. Like, they could Alk up Grindstone or one of their other things, or they could just Lightning Bolt. Alright, I need to get Dreadhorde Arcanist out of here. I don't want them casting any new spells on me. Alright, did I put a Mystic Sanctuary in this deck? Alright, yes, there is a Mystic Sanctuary in this deck. So I can Mystic Sanctuary for Ponder. If that's something I think I want to do. Alright, there's the Painter. Let's hope they don't have Simian Spirit Guide, because they've already made a land drop. Alright, I'm just going to draw my Supreme Verdict and see if they kill me in response. It would be wild if this deck contains Simian Spirit Guide, based on every other card we've seen. Alright, so I have a Court, but it might be a little late. So I think I Mystic Sanctuary for Swords to Plowshares, then play the Court, and that's the plan. This Oko is a huge problem. Okay, they made a food. I'll take that. Alright, so upkeep I'll fetch for Mystic Sanctuary. Oh wait, I can't do that because I don't have enough white mana. Damn it. Alright. Maybe I'll Sanctuary for Ponder. Yeah, I'll make that move at this point. Yeah, Force of Negation, it's too late for that. All right, draw. If I ponder into Land Plow, I can still do this. Okay, there's another court. Shark Typhoon, pretty good here. It does make blue creatures, unfortunately. Can I do both? So if I cast Court, no, then I have a 0/0 Shark. I'm 1 mana short of doing 2 things that I want to do. Alright, I'll get my Shark Typhoon. Guess I could also just make a 3/3 right now and hit my land drop. I don't think that's important. Oh, they're gonna mill me. Okay. So in that case, I do want to make a 3/3 right now. Because I do want the Hall of Heliod in my hand and not in my graveyard. Alright, they milled 2 courts and a moat. So Replenish is hot right now. Also just dead to Painter at any time. They can also trade their food for my shark, which forcing me to do this at instant speed was a lot worse in that regard. Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm just dead on board there, and I don't want them to see my deck. I guess playing the Hall of Heliod. Oh, if I had put that into play, then they can't Painter me. Well, like they can, but I guess they just have to do it over 2 turns. Like they Painter me, I put 1 card on top of the deck, I draw that card, and then they untap and they just have the combo. So yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. It buys 1 turn. All right, Stony Silence, Seal of Cleansing are all coming in. Mystical Dispute. That does fight Oko kind of well. I do like the moats. Back to basics. Embarrassing. Him to Troct myself by drawing both of those. The removal seems important. They have so many Red Blasts and Veil of Summers. Alright, I'm actually going to cut Force of Negation, because that's just another 2-for-1 that hangs out into all their 1 mana interaction. They can't stop a veto with Red Blast. They can stop it with Veil. Containment Priest. I don't think that does anything. I didn't see a Goblin Welder. Alright, I'm gonna do it like this, I think. Guess I could do 1 less force, 1 more Narset. Or 1 less replenish, 1 more force. Let's see. Verdict does seem important. Yeah, I'll do this. I might want the Dovin's vetoes, but a number of their important spells are creatures, so it's not like a free upgrade to switch them out for the forces. Alright. I can go to court with this hand. So it would have felt good about last game if not for Oko, which, I mean, welcome to Legacy, right? So I want to fetch blue and a white here. They cannot red blast Stony Silence. And this card's pretty good against their deck. Did they show me a Force of Will last game, or were they playing more fair than that? I don't think I saw a Force. Pithing Needle. All right, that's probably going to name Shark Typhoon. Yep. Guaranteed. All right, well, show me the Red Blast, I guess. Guess you don't even really have to show me the Red Blast. You could just have Oko. All right, yep. Easy Red Blast. Well-constructed deck. Turns out blue is good in Eternal formats, and if you main deck Red Blast, you get to counter spells easily. These lands don't make green, so that's good news at least. That one might. No, it does. We saw a basic forest last game. So we're still going to get got by Oko, despite my best efforts. So I can put court on top of my deck. This is kind of a liability. But I have Swords to Plowshares also. All right, yeah, I'm gonna put court on top of my deck this turn. All right, so you have a piggy. I'll take the 3. I don't want to waste the plow on this if they have a follow-up like that. So I put court on top. Then I Supreme Verdict. And 2 turns from now, I can cast my court with Swords to Plowshares back up. Also 1 turn away from, or 1 land away from hard casting Shark Typhoon. This end step Brainstorm's pretty aggro. Also of note, Stony Silence can't be elked, but Null Rod can. So I have this extra layer of protection here. Just in the deck building area, that is. All right, they made a food and made a creature. Damn it. I needed them to only do one of those 2 things. All right, let's see what I draw here. Island. Okay, Island turns on Mystic Sanctuary. So I'm going to fetch for Mystic Sanctuary, put Supreme Verdict on top of my deck. I was going to say I should cast Shark Typhoon, but they can just cast Red Blast out of the graveyard and pick it off. But I guess this thing is basically dead anyway. Yeah, I'm actually fine with that. Like it'll cost them resources to deal with this, one way or the other. All these creatures are so tough. Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the deck tech, where I was talking about like decks that can produce just a steady stream of creatures are going to be tough. Like this deck has Ice Fang, Quaddle, and Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Oko, and a combo finish. It's a tough deck to beat. All right, so are they going for the Ponder, or are they going for the red Elemental Blast? Yeah, I'm fine with that. So they're playing around Supreme Verdict by not elking up their food. And I'm hoping I'm able to punish that. So I'm not going to Supreme Verdict now. I can plow the Arcanist next turn. One, two, three. Maybe I just jam Court. Is that completely insane? Like, I don't want them drawing extra cards, but... Alright. I'm going to try this. I get to draw at least one extra card here. Oh, that's so close to being good. Alright, so I'm going to lose the Monarch, which I knew was going to happen. I'm in like full experimentation mode, if that's not clear here. Like I'm just trying to figure out what I can ask this deck to do and what I can't. So I'm gonna mill us both with Court of Cunning. Because I have the Hall. Like this Pithing Needle is really the biggest game breaker here. All right, so let's hit both of us. Milled Swords to Plowshares and Moat. So Replenish is getting better and better. Yuck. I want the Plow, but I don't want all this other shit. All right, that's a real card. It's probably going to get red blasted if they can. All right. That's pretty interesting. Narset is a good answer to the Monarch. Maybe Hull Breacher should be in this deck. Like, in case they steal the Monarch, Hull Breacher is it's a flash threat that can steal it back, and it turns their Monarch triggers into gold for me. So I'm not going to mill myself this time because the top of my deck is good. They have so much shit laying around. Oko is brutal. Is the top of my deck good, I guess is the question. Alright, so they could red blast my Stony Silence now. All right, just milling them. Verdict supremely. Gotta have an answer to this at this point. Yep. All right, so if I draw Replenish and it resolves, that's my out here. So I'm gonna mill myself. I'm gonna mill both of us and try to draw Replenish. Did I board one out? I did. All right, I have to spike the 1 of Replenish. And that's not Replenish. All right, we're dead. Okay, so the flaws of this deck that I described during the deck tech are coming through. Like I said, this is not a polished list. I'm just seeing, proof of concept. Like, can something like this work at all? And if so, what are its weaknesses? And Oko right now has emerged as a glaring weakness. So it might be as simple as some pithing needles in the 75 to deal with Oko, or something like Council's Judgment that can get rid of him. I don't think more counterspells is the answer, but we do need some sort of better answer to Oko. All right, we'll keep playing and figure out what we need to do with this list. All right, on the draw here, I'm going to keep this hand. Island Ponder, you know me. Oh no, Chancellor of the Annex, we're dead. Fuck. I don't know, maybe they don't also have the turn 1. So another thing I was thinking while I was waiting for the Round of Fire was maybe this deck should lean harder into the replenish angle. Like, just always mill myself and the opponent with the... Do you have the Dark Ritual? Just always mill myself with Court of Grace, or Court of Cunning, and play a second Mystic Sanctuary, and just always, and maybe a third replenish, and just always be churning up that replenish package. Like, I just have it in there as kind of a backup plan right now, but I could make it more of like a soft plan A, like a second layer to plan A. Targeting me, bummer. All right, so my Force of Will is gone. And they pitched Reanimate for that Unmask, so their hand must be bonkers. Yeah, this matchup's real bad for all of these fair blue-white decks, especially the ones that have this start. It's the Chancellor, the Unmask, and the Ritual into Entomb. Reanimate. And I don't play a Caracas, so yeah, we're just done here. All right, all right. I've seen enough. All right, there's no time for back to basics. Containment Priest, this is what you're for. Dovin's Veto is good. Moat doesn't have any text in this matchup. All of their creatures fly. When you can choose all the best creatures from Magic's history, why would you ever choose one that doesn't fly? So, Terminus, not really what I want. I don't have a whole lot for this matchup. Guess I could play Deafening Silence, that might slow them down a little bit. Let me win my counter wars. Court of Cunning milling them seems like a bit of a liability, if I do say so. But I do have to win the game somehow. Narset can shut down Grizzlebrand, so maybe that's something I want. Less Replenish. Less Wall of Omens, probably. All right, I'm doing this. I'm leaving in all the courts because I'm here to test exactly that. Yeah, I'm not gonna... I think it's probably right to shave some number of Court of Grace at least. Alright, they did not have Chancellor this time. Let's see if that matters. They probably just have Unmask instead. This deck is so good against me. Maybe I should have shuffled that Ponder. Oh, it depends on if I get a turn 2 or not. Alright, it's looking good. Alright, we got a turn 2. I definitely should have stacked the 2 Shark Typhoons. I don't need 2 Plows in this matchup. I barely want 1. So yeah, I messed up that Ponder. It's possible I should have cycled it or shuffled it away entirely, but if I keep it, I should just double up on Typhoon. This Typhoon's at least a redraw. I'm forcing this. They have a lot more reanimates than they have entombs, so I'm happy to have this fight. Foolish me, thinking I can do anything about math. Well, they're gonna get to draw a million cards, but I can at least remove Grizzlebrand. Maybe I'm supposed to wait to the end step to do that. Because now they can reanimate again this turn, maybe. Alright, so I'll cast Narset, who will at least stop me from getting absolutely buried by Grizzlebrand next turn. And if their plan is to bring back this Chancellor, I have a Plow. Maybe I did need 2 Plows this game. Alright, I'll take this Force of Will. Though I'm sure their hand contains discard spells at this point. How could it not? Yeah, getting unmasked. Luckily I have 2 answers. So if they take the Force, then I can Plow. Alright, so that's just discard 2. Which is something this deck is interested in. Alright, my opponent said oops in the chat, so they didn't mean to do that. So it's just discard 2. We take those. Exhume. Oh, I don't have any dead creatures. Alright, so they get their Chancellor back, but they are about Hellbent, and I have a clean answer to Chancellor in hand. Oh, so many of these. Maybe 5 is too many of those to have. Well, I'll be serious. I think I might. No, I'm just gonna Plow. I was about to say I think I might cycle Shark Typhoon and just block, but I'll take the sure thing. Alright, packed it up. Narset actually delivered there pretty strongly. So does anything change here? Everything gets worse because I'm on the draw. Yeah, I don't actually think anything changes here. Do I want replenish? What does replenish do? Replenish could load up my Shark Typhoons and create a parade of blockers for their attackers. But all of that is planning on a game that requires me surviving the first couple turns. So let me focus on that first. Yeah, this list probably needs some surgicals or something. Like I can't play Rest in Peace because that affects my own deck too much. They kept 7, which probably means their hand is good. My hand is bad, so I should mulligan. Alright, this hand's also not good, but it can answer a monster. Alright, my hand is very good against Thoughtseize because it already sucks. Let's see if they're more worried about Deafening Silence or Ponder. Actually, all 3 of these cards have some appeal. Alright, so I'm going to jam this Deafening Silence. That will at least stop them from making the monster and reanimating it next turn. Like, I don't think there is any way to make that happen. And then whenever they do get around to making a monster, I can remove it cleanly. It's not like they can draw 1,000 and make another one on the same turn. Ashen Rider enters the battlefield. All right, so that one can in fact answer my thing. So they can ride or die. It's not Grizzlebrand. I'll take that. They also missed a land drop. I'll take that too. So they reanimate this. It resolves. Do they want to go after my lands or my silence? I prefer that outcome. Though that does mean they could dump their hand and make another monster this turn, but alright, yeah. I think if they could make a second monster, they would have done better with their first one. Interesting. So I think I hide the replenish. Yeah, that's definitely the one with the least utility here. I want to keep the path just in case they do get another monster into play here. But if they don't do anything, I'm just going to cycle my shark for 0. Like, I would like to clear the top of this deck. Thoughtseize, alright. Took the path. That's cool. So yeah, I think that keeping my velocity moving forward is a better plan than trying to set up this replenish over the next 2 turns when I have no answers to what they're doing in the meantime. Court, ripping Court of Grace there would have been insane. Okay, now I have another answer to a monster, and I can make a 2/2 and draw a card if they don't do anything. Uh-oh. Yeah, what were the odds they would do nothing? Okay, so they can make Grizzlebrand. They could draw 7 once. Exhume. I still don't have any creatures. There are none in my deck. What a problem that is. So, well, I guess them drawing cards is likely to result in a discard spell. I'm actually fine with a second monster. I just don't want to get discarded. All right, what is the second monster? All right. Oh, Children of Corliss? Oh no, you're also a Tinfin's deck? This is bad news. Do all the Reanimator decks just play this combo now? I played against one the other day that also just had a little Tinfin's package built into the blue-red Reanimator shell, or black-red Reanimator shell. I believe I am getting shit murdered here. All right, I think that they have to take Supreme Verdict. Could definitely just lose here in a variety of ways. I think if they keep going, I need to make a 1/1 shark and try to spike like a plow. Which is not a play I wanted to make last turn, or earlier in the turn, because I really wanted a Supreme Verdict. Oh. I don't mind if I do. And they're at 5 life, and I have a 2/2? Oh, there's the Supreme Verdict. I do think this is better, though. Get out of here. Alright, I'll put you to 3. And I have Supreme Verdict lined up for the next wave. They can't cast Reanimate anymore. I think they've cast 2 of their Reanimates already. Shit. They're so good at having discard spells. It's like that's what this deck does. Alright, Grizzlebrand's back again. Let's see if I can top deck another Teferi. Prismatic Vista cannot get Mystic Sanctuary. That's another thing I should consider for deck building. Answer? Answer? Alright, you're saying there's a chance. Did someone say another Teferi? I don't think I want Swords to Plowshares on top of my deck. Do I want Swords to Plowshares on top of my deck? I guess. Bouncing Grizzlebrand is better than bouncing Animate, because then they would just cast it again next turn. Put you to 1. No more Thoughtseize, no more fetch land. Another Entomb. For another Grizzlebrand. Oh, the ones in their hand they had to get rid of somehow. Another Animate. Alright. So my Path to Exile is already gone. I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. Some answer to Grizzlebrand? That doesn't... Alright, fine. Exile this. This is the weirdest, scrappiest game of Reanimator. Oh, they packed it up, really? Don't they know they go to 7? Alright, I'll take it. We're on the board. A win against Reanimator. Alright, on the draw again for round 4. Can't win a die roll today. That's okay, I'm only trying to cast 4 drops with no ramp in my deck. This hand is solid, though. Alright, so we're playing against Elves or Eldrazi or something. Moat is very good against every Once Upon a Time deck. We just need to get to turn 4 on the draw here. I suspect Misty Rainforest is not what they were hoping for with their Once Upon a Time. Oh, some sort of... Oh, the second Once Upon a Time. Storm is 3. Getting Uro. Okay, so they're just some like Uro spew deck. Wall of Omens coming in clutch. Force of Will, is that something I want? Guess it wouldn't hurt to have it in my hand. Like my next few turns of just making land drops and cantripping are lined out pretty well. The second Wall of Omens, so I can double block Uro. Alright, Moat is very good against Uro and Field of the Dead. It lines up very well against the format in that regard. I could be playing Modern. Oh no, Ponder's ban. Never mind. I almost had a completely Modern legal start. So Uro. Whatever. I should probably cut the back to basics from my deck and just play better mana too. That is something you're allowed to do in Legacy, believe it or not. I don't usually do it, but it is allowed. All right, so Brainstorm. Yeah, I guess I should Brainstorm. It's not hurting anything. Hall is good. I don't think I need the second Shark right now. Like the first one with Hall is usually enough. And should ship one of these other cards. Is it wall? But the value. Think of the value. Will no one think of the value? All right, forget it. Hall's gonna go. I guess I'm just redrawing that anyway. That was a lot of thinking for no reason. I thought I was gonna fetch, but realizing I would have to fetch Tundra to cast Moat against this deck that almost certainly has Wasteland in it was not an appealing option to me. Primeval Titan, another creature that doesn't beat Moat. So I'm going to save my Force of Will to protect my Moat. Like, I don't know if these decks play Valakut in Legacy. I know they do in Modern. But I want to protect the Moat and force them to combo me off if they expect to win the game. There's Thespian Stage, so I imagine they have Dark Depths also. That's a pretty good card. It's a reasonable Legacy level combo, I suppose. All right, you're in the Moat. What are you going to do about it? This is the first real test of Moat. It hasn't been in play yet, and it's in play against a deck where it's probably pretty good. Like Uro and Field of the Dead, Moat completely bricks both of them. All right, a second force to protect the Moat is exciting. I'm not going to ponder here. I just want to go for the biggest possible shark and start attacking. Copying Hall. Okay, that's smart. So now they can put their exploration on top. That's pretty sweet. Fucking Wasteland. My nemesis. Well, both of the wastable lands in my deck are in play right now, so that's pretty cool. All right, now we have a win con. This should be able to take this game over. And I'm just not going to take any actions. I'm just going to deck them. Hide behind my Force of Wills. Like, even if they were to crop rotation for Dark Depths and make Merit Lage, I have 2 Force of Wills to fight over that. And once I untap, and I have a blocker also. Like, that's pretty good. All right, more zombies that don't matter. The fuck is this? Sacrifice to put a -1 counter on target creature. Okay, I guess they can slowly work their way through the shark, but that doesn't work through Moat. All right, yeah, Ponder, hitting land drop's always good. Teferi, what does Teferi do? Teferi shuts off shit like crop rotation. Like, I just don't have to worry about that anymore. Abrupt Decays are in their deck. I don't see any Assassin's Trophies yet, which is what they would need to get through Moat. Cavern, Blast Zone. Cavern's brutal. Oh, Blast Zone gets through Moat. Shit. That's a good one. So does it get through Moat in time? 1, 2, 3, yeah, like almost exactly. I think I'm going to target both of us. Mill us both. I'm going for a big replenish here. Court of Grace, back to basics. Did I mill a replenish? I milled the Mystic Sanctuary, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, if I can get this back to basics into play right now, there are 2 replenishes in the deck. It's time to dig. Brainstorm first here. I have plenty of shit to shuffle away. Looking for the replenish. Found Court of Grace. That's not what I want. There's no such thing as a double monarch. That's also just cost the same as Moat, so it'll just die. All right, put these two in. Shuffle. Make sure that I still have fetchable lands left. There should be at least 2 more. All right, we're good. All right, this is it. Replenish or bust. Oh, back to basics off the top. That works too. That will at least slow them down, because they can't abrupt decay in my end step. All right, yeah, they'll pack it up to that. Nice. I wish we could have popped off with the replenish line there. Okay, so again, my lack of graveyard hate is kind of shitty here. Don't have a whole lot going on for this sort of deck. And Narset helps me dig. Terminus can mop up a board. Seal of Cleansing, yeah, I mean, they'll probably have choke, but they are also an Uro deck, so maybe they don't have choke. They'll have Sylvan Library at least, and Mox Diamond, worst case scenario. All right, so what's less good here? Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, Swords to Plowshares. I might want some number in to help control Uro, but that's not super great. Why would I bring in Terminus if I'm bringing out Supreme Verdict? One of those is just a lot better than the other. Okay, so that's another thing. Moving forward, I'm not going to put the Terminuses in my sideboard because I have so many Wrath's main deck. The build of this deck, like the shell that I built off of, didn't have this many Wrath's main because it wasn't a Monarch deck. So these Terminuses should just be graveyard hate moving forward. I gotta cut one more card here. God, Wall of Omens was gas. And by gas, I mean it was a cantrip, and that let me spend my mana. Force to Fairy. I kind of like all these cards. Maybe I don't need 3 Supreme Verdicts. Alright, this is my plan. Alright, this hand contains back to basics. I'm gonna keep it. I have 2 draw steps and a brainstorm before I miss a land drop. So it could happen, but we're in pretty good shape. Sometimes I like aggressively forcing Once Upon a Time, but I don't think this is a matchup where that's gonna be what I want to do. I'm gonna have to watch out for that cavern though. Can't count on anything. Alright, found a second land drop. So now I have 2 draw steps and brainstorm to find the third one. I'll turn 2 cavern. Do they have like Thorn of Amethyst or Chalice of the Void? Or just Loam? I guess they could choke right now with the Mox. This Uro is also a giant. Figured it out. Alright, deal. Wow. Another cavern. I really need this back to basics to stick, and quickly. Alright, finding the fetch land was nice. So now my brainstorm gets better. I'm not going to brainstorm yet, because I'm not sure what I need to do yet. They need to put 2 cards in their graveyard before they can escape Uro. That's 1. Elvish Reclaimer. Alright, I can kill that somehow. Right, so Brainstorm. Definitely don't want Tundra ever. And I think I might just Teferi this turn and bounce Reclaimer. Or, no, right now their Triome is tapped, which is pretty exciting. I actually think Narset is the bottom here. It might be Force of Will because they have Cavern on Giant and they have Abrupt Decay. Like most of their cards I care about are uncounterable right now. No, I am actually gonna... I'm gonna put these 2 lands here. And I'm gonna Teferi this Reclaimer. I hope. If they let me. Does that make any fucking sense? I should just jam back to basics, right? Yeah, I'm gonna jam back to basics. That at least denies them Primeval Titan right now. Then I can fuck up the Reclaimer next turn. I can force a choke if they play choke. Like their island is already tapped. I'm fairly confident I should Brainstorm first here. Alright, hit a land. Also hit a plow, that's even better. I'm not gonna Shark Typhoon this turn or Supreme Verdict, so I'll put those ones away. And I think I want a Teferi. So they'll probably get Field of the Dead. Guess I don't know. Maybe they play a Shajiri step and they can save their Reclaimer. Alright, yeah, they got Field. That's not a big surprise. Yeah, that was tapped anyway. Good job. Okay, 1, 2, 3. They only have 3 different lands with this Field of the Dead. If they can Uro here, but that costs them their caverns, and I have Plow at the ready. Alright, so I think when I Plow this Uro, this game will end. Alright, Blast Zone is... No, it's not, because you have to tap it to charge it, so it's not a path forward. Alright, always looking for land drops. Don't need a second back to basics. I think I'm past the point where I need Supreme Verdict. And now I can destroy their Mox Diamond and Plow Uro. And that should lock this up, I think. Boom. We're taking it back. I mean, they can just hit land drops and make zombies. Is that something I want to Force a Will? Yeah, that seems fine. Like, what else are they going to do this game? That's like one of the few spells they have left they can cast. Court of Grace, it's time. It's fucking time. Am I gonna get to do it? Oh, Court of Cunning also. I'm gonna give Court of Grace a chance to shine. Court is in session. And they're dead. Love it. And here for the final round. We're finally on the play with a turn 3 court. Let's see how this works. How about that last match, by the way? I mean, obviously they're a fair deck that also doesn't really present a quick clock or anything, so it's exactly the type of deck I'd be set up to crush, but fuck did we deliver on that promise. I'm playing against Delver. How quaint. Alright, I'm just gonna fetch now so I don't get stifled. I don't think people play around Spell Pierce anymore in 2020, so I'm just gonna pass the turn. I can afford to take 3 damage from a Delver. I just want to make sure that if they're gonna follow up with like Dreadhorde Arcanist or something, I'd prefer to plow that. This Daze is a bitch though. Get to Daze my court. Oh, a second Delver. That's whack. Alright, I'll take out the first one. So if this Delver doesn't flip, I can eat it with a Shark. Please don't flip. Shit. Alright, it flipped. Oh, they shuffled away their Lightning Bolt. That's good news. So I can at least chump with a Shark. Oh, they're Grixis Delver. Wow. A blast from the past on that one. So I'm gonna take 3. I'm gonna make a 1/1 Shark. And then I have a blocker and at least plausible deniability about jamming my Court of Cunning into the face of a Delver. Which I may or may not do. I'm probably not gonna do it. As memey as it would be, as much fun as I would have doing that, I am sure that's wrong. Ka-chow. Alright, so I want to play my land and then brainstorm. And if they have Hull Breacher, I can plow it. Alright, they did not have Hull Breacher. Can ship 2 of these. And then I'm just gonna pass here. I'm not gonna play into a hard cast Force of Negation on my own turn. And I am gonna plow this Delver before blocks. We're over here tapping mana for what? Hardcast Force of Negation. I called it. Alright, so I'm gonna let this connect again. And I know I don't want all these lands on top of my deck. I'm gonna ponder, and I can still make a 2/2 Shark to trade with Delver if I need to. Alright, Court of Grace is a big ass against Daze. Alright, I'll keep the Supreme Verdict. Uh, I am actually gonna... I could just verdict right now. No, I'm gonna chump with this 1/1 shark and then Supreme Verdict next turn. Sounds like a reasonable play. And they're sitting here with Wasteland in play, so I'm definitely gonna fetch away that Tundra. I took a lot of damage from this Delver when I had a blocker available, just trying to set up the Monarch, which never really materialized. Please play another creature. Dreadhorde Arcanist off the top. Oh no, not that. Not that! Yikes. Alright, well, if they don't take Verdict, I'll just make a Shark, and if they take Shark, I'll cast Verdict, so I'm covered here. Thoughtseize is such a good card. Alright, make a 2/2 that can trade with Delver. They sequenced that really well too, waiting until second main, just hid what they were up to until it was too late for me. Moat, huh? Moat is good against the other half of this deck. I'm gonna shuffle this Ponder unless the third card. Yeah, shuffling Ponder is the same as keeping Flooded Strand and cracking it. Mystic Sanctuary, I can put Plow on top. Or Supreme Verdict. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But they do have Wasteland. Yeah, I'll get Verdict, just to be sure. So I think they do not attack. Maybe they do. Oh, now they do. Okay, that's fine. I'm at 5, and Supreme Verdict's coming off the top. This Delver, so good. Alright, get out of here. I'm gonna hold on to this land in case I draw Brainstorm. Like, I do have a lot of lands in play already. Let's see if they've really had one threat this whole game or if they've been smartly playing out one at a time. It was the second thing. So I can Force of Will this Arcanist, and then we're both on empty. Alright, I think I have to do that. As we're not empty. They have Daze on 2 unknowns. Alright, that was pretty good. Okay, time to draw a removal spell. Because I am dead on board. I'll take it. Get you out of here. Court of Cunning off the top. Ooh, Moat off the top. I'll take that too. Time to turn this around. They only have 3 more lightning bolts in their deck, and I'm at 1. I will not be playing this Flooded Strand. That would put me to 3 life, which is the amount of life that lightning bolt kills. Might be able to bait them into Thoughtseizing me again, since the first one was so good. I'm at 1. Am I dead? Do you have the other one? Come on. All right. We saw them shuffle one of those away earlier, right? They're 20 cards into their deck with 3 lightning bolts. That is largely my fault. I took a lot of damage. If I took one less hit from that Delver earlier, then that wouldn't have been so bad. Alright, Celestial Purge is good. Veto. Is Veto good? I don't know how much I care about their non-creature spells. This is the kind of matchup we built the main deck to punish. Alright, I am going to load up on these Terminuses. Maybe one less Force of Will. Though the nature of this deck is very tap out, so maybe keeping 4 forces is right, even against something like Delver. One less court, one less back to basics. Actually, I think I want all my courts. No, I'll leave in one back to basics. Like, back to basics obviously really good against Grixis Delver, but they have red blasts, and I'm just not super. I just don't like relying on it as a plan, and you never want to draw 2. And you generally don't want to draw the first one until like turn 7 or 8 after you've done a bunch of exchanging of resources. Okay, I will leave all of these where they are. No Delver, no Delver, no Delver. Please cast Ponder. Damn it. Alright. Yeah, if they didn't have Delver, we would have lined up this plow into court really easily. But they did. So here it is. My top card is Supreme Verdict, which is a pretty good card. Yep, Brainstorm. Oh no, is it Thoughtseize? I hate Thoughtseize so much. I'm gonna plow Delver in response. What they take will tell me a lot about their hand. I could Brainstorm also, but I don't want to run Brainstorm into Daze. Like, getting my Brainstorm dazed and then also a card taken from Thoughtseize is brutal. So if they take Brainstorm, then they have Daze. If they take Court, then they probably don't. Alright, put back Mystic Sanctuary. I guess it doesn't matter because I don't get to shuffle. Or put back Swords to Plowshares and Mystic Sanctuary in that order. Alright, so a little bit of an awkward spot here. We have a plow on top, this Mystic Sanctuary here to punish me. If I find a second white source, it's going to be like really hard to lose the game in any quick fashion. And Thoughtseize. So good. I keep saying that, but it's still true. We have another one? Oh no, this is Gurmag Angler. I'm ready for that. I got Swords to Plowshares all day. I could also just chump for a turn with Wall of Omens. See if they'll commit more into my Supreme Verdict. Definitely not taking 5. Young Pyromancer. Alright, Moment of Truth deck. White mana. Yes. Boom. Get him out. So I have the next several threats covered, but I do need to figure out how to win the game. So they can't Red Blast this. They can Force of Will and Force of Negation it. I'm going to go for it. If they force it, it's a Hymn to Turok. I'm not going to force back. Maybe I force back if they tap out for Force of Negation, but if they have Red Blast up, I'm not going to fuck with this. It also might be that they're just sitting on a pile of Red Blast and Lightning Bolts, and then I win. Oh my god. I hope they don't have a flash threat. They just play Hull Breacher and I die here. Okay, so Brazen Borrower. I'll force that. Do they have the force back? Oh, fuck. Okay. Force Pitching Days. So they're going to get to take the Monarch. I still get to make a 1/1. I have a bunch of creature removal here. I will probably get the Monarch back. I hope. Let's just see how much damage is dealt until that point. All right, I can answer both of those. I still get a 1/1. It's just not a 4/4. Oh. So I can take the Monarch back, double up. I think that's worse than just answering their creatures. All right, I'm gonna plow here. They can pitch to Force of Negation now, but I don't want them to be able to hardcast it. All right, so Delver is likely to flip here. It's safe to say. But then it'll be interesting if they actually attack with Delver or not because of the Monarch. Preordain. Yeah, I am kind of interested in seeing what they do with this Delver. Like, if they have to attack with Delver and play a second creature, but if it's Young Pyromancer, that sucks. Okay. Shit. That's the one I didn't want. Oh, I should have responded. That was bad. Yeah, now if they counter this, they get a token. Alright, I got lucky. Okay, so I'm going to attack with my Spirit. If they have any instant, then that sucks. But if they don't, they probably lose their Young Peasy. Oh. Oh, am I just the Monarch again? Okay. And now I shove Moat into play? Ah, we did it! Alright. I did not have faith we were going to win that game, but that was fun. Court of Grace, actually showing up and doing the thing. Alright, so they've showed me Young Pyromancer. I don't think that changes anything about my plan. They showed me Brazen Borrower. So maybe Mystical Dispute is something I'm interested in. Where is it going? I think I need all of these Wrath and removals. Celestial Purge is already an answer to Young Pyromancer. Uh, kind of, I hope. Shark Typhoon is good. They showed me Gurmag Angler and Dreadhorde Arcanist, and yeah, I definitely want Celestial Purge in the deck. Alright, sorry, Mystical Dispute. I tried to fit you in. It didn't work out. You understand. This hand is chunky. I'm going to keep it, though. If they have turn 1 Delver, I probably just lose. Alright. Wow, turn 1 Brainstorm, aggro. Weird. Did they board into the Epic Storm? Island Ponder, baby. Never fails. Alright, they dazed me. That probably means they missed their land drop on Brainstorm. So I think they're Brainstorm locked over there. Oh, they found Delver. Maybe that one turn of reprieve will be enough. So I found land number 3. Just need to get to 4 at a sustainable life total. We'll be alright. This Delver will flip if they stack their Brainstorm right. They did. Okay. So I think I actually just want to draw and save the Shark Typhoon. Perfect. Okay. So now I've made them commit the Lightning Bolt to answering my Shark. I guess maybe not. Like, depends on. It's 3 damage either way. I'll just chump for a turn with this Shark and bridge the gap into Supreme Verdict. But either way, getting the Shark Typhoon into the graveyard for this replenish is a big deal. Oh, please play a creature. Young Pyromancer, shove it into play. They're smarter than that. But I'm smart enough to draw a second Supreme Verdict. So it all evens out. Alright, 4-drop dot hand is now operational. Alright, I would like to draw a land so I can cast this moat around days. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, so that's a must counter. Alright, and counter it they did. Got that Hymn to Tarak. I'm still setting up the Supreme Verdict. It's got to hope to fade Thoughtseize. But even if they do Thoughtseize, I can still jam Moat. I would strongly prefer to resolve Moat here on this board. Though Brazen Borrower being in their deck makes Moat kind of a liability. Like, you get too comfortable and you just lose. Yeah, I think a nice clean Supreme Verdict is going to be what the doctor ordered here. Bottom, the Preordain. So they basically spent a card to do what a fetch land would have done off that Brainstorm. Ooh, alright. Greedy time. I can Ponder, try to hit my land drop, and then Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Never fails. Alright. Let's go. Little late for that Thoughtseize. I have 2 Court of Grace, Moat, and Replenish to get any of them back. I hope they don't also have Delver. Alright, they took the Replenish. They want to play fair. Play around Spell Pierce. Force, pitching Force. Alright, so that's 3 forces down. Alright, they can't cast most of their counter spells here. Court. Oh, they had the Force of Negation. Pitching Daze. So I could Brainstorm here. But I would have to Brainstorm into Force and Blue card to fight over this, and then that still exposes me to Red Blast. So I'm just gonna hang on to this Brainstorm and try to do better. I'll take my 2 for 1. It's a good thing they took my Replenish. Alright, let's try to get this in. Alright, one less thing to worry about. This looks like Gurmag Angler. Got that covered. Can't swim. Flavor Judge. Isn't that like a shark fish or something? Yeah, it's a fish. It's a zombie fish. That's its official official creature type is zombie fish. So I'm just gonna make a 4/4 in the end step. Like if they find Brazen Bar to bounce mode, I'll plow Gurmag Angler. But otherwise I'm just gonna make a 4/4 and get to work. It's big enough to dodge this lightning bolt. I guess we don't know they have lightning bolt. They could have shuffled it away a couple times now. Alright, found the fetch land to put this Brainstorm in play. Alright, I mean that's some good stuff. As long as the moat sticks around, Swords of Plowshares will be better for me than Supreme Verdict. I can also Mystic Sanctuary for Replenish. Alright, that's dead. Whatever. Alright, they scooped it up. Alright, so we managed to salvage the 3-2 after starting 0-2. Beat Delver, which was kind of the deck that the main deck is built to beat. Lost to some weirdo decks, ones that with full of flash creatures and Oko. So Oko's a problem. We don't need these Terminus in the sideboard. I should probably shave back to basics or put them in the sideboard and just have better mana main. Get a second Mystic Sanctuary and lean harder into the Replenish strategy. Like those are all things that I'm thinking for the next build of this deck. So if you see this, if you're working on something like this, let me know, share the list. I'm excited to talk about this sort of list. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.